Greetings, everybody. Welcome to Guys Sports Night. This is our first time trying to do this live. What's up, Ed? How you doing, brother?
What's going on, Will? How are we doing tonight?
Dude, a lot going on in the world, man. How about Bill Cowher getting fired today?
You mean Mike Tomlin stepping down?
Oh, God, jeez. Wait, start this fucking show off. Well, they've only had two coaches since I've been alive, so it's easy to get them two mixed up.
They've had four in their whole entire history.
Yeah, dude, it's something that's insane. How do you think it went? Do you think it was like, hey, we're tired of losing in the playoffs in the first round? And he was like, I'm tired of this shitty roster. And they were like, all right, sweet, let's just cut ties.
I mean, really with them, the biggest thing was like it was mediocrity, and it was it's kind of an adapt or die type of league. It's just over time, it's just become super, super pass heavy.
Yeah.
I just didn't think they really put a lot of emphasis on it. I mean, you look at the guys that they brought in at OC and DC and all the money they've spent, and it just hasn't resulted in wins.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, for those listening for the first time and joining in throughout the show, what's happening? Good morning, mechanic, with the first comment of the day. This is the Guys Sports Night. We're going to do this as often as we can. Hopefully we can start to make it an every 2-week thing, but we're going to just talk mostly Cleveland sports, but obviously along the way, there's things like the college football playoffs. How about freaking Patty the Batty is going to fight here in a couple of weeks? I'm pretty yoked about that, dude.
He's legit, man.
I think he doesn't get enough credit, but he's a stone cold killer is one way to put it. So tonight we're going to talk college football playoffs, national championship coming up around the corner. I think it's two teams nobody expected, including a 12 seed that almost didn't even get in. And then we're going to switch ties and head to the NFL coaching search, which has turned into be something quite awesome. Essentially, if your name is not Kevin Stefanski, you have a chance at coaching the Cleveland Browns this year.
I think me and you need to go for it then. I think we'd have some good pointers. You used to, obviously, you on the defensive side of things being a middle linebacker, me being a fucking nerd that's never played football in his life. I definitely think I could fit those roles for sure.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, hey, for those that are tuning in, Sports Night, we're going to try to make this live. I'm not sure how it's going to work out, but if you join on Discord, you should be able to just pop right in, and we'll let you in on the show, and you'll be able to comment, have some arguments, to banter. One of the things about Sports Night or sports podcasts and things like that is not a lot of people actually get to do much. So we're going to try to make this as interactive as possible. So if you've got Discord, I'm going to put the link in the description and hop in, and we'll see what's going on, see what your point of view is. But well, Ed, let's start college football playoffs. If I would have asked you 6 years ago if Indiana and Miami would be in the college football national championship, you would have said,
absolutely not. I would have laughed at you. I said, there's no way in hell to one overrated program since the early 2000s is even relevant again, and a no-name bottom of the barrel program for as long as I've been alive is anywhere close to even a championship, anywhere even close to the playoffs
or the top 25. I mean, the only thing Indiana was good for maybe giving Ohio State a scare in the middle of the season once in a while. They were not winning any games.
You don't want to know what this last season kind of reminds me of. We'll divulge into this a little bit more. It reminds me, you remember 2007?
2007.
That was when the BCS was still going on, and it was just mayhem with the poll ranking, because I think that was the year App State beat Michigan week 1.
Oh gosh, and it was a complete. Let's see who was to us.
It was like everybody that was ranked inside the top 10 at one point lost, and somehow Ohio State with their scheduling, I guess, got in as the number 1 seed. That was when we lost to the University of Florida. I hate that. The fact that's one of the only
years. First year they lost to the University of Florida?
That was, yes, because they also lost to them in the national championship for basketball as well. So Florida beat us in football and basketball that year. Yeah, that was right. That Joakim Noah. I think it was Al Horford, Joakim Noah team with Greg Oden. I think Mike Conley was still on that team as well.
Yeah, that was quite a year.
It was
not a good year for Ohio State.
I was 8 years old. How old are you, Will?
In 2007, I was 25. I don't even know what I was doing. Sorry, I'm going to turn my phone off. I forgot to do that earlier.
No, I know exactly what you're doing at 25. You were either in the middle of Kuwait or you were slinging cars.
I was back and slinging cars at that point. So no Kuwait for me at that point.
Isn't that crazy, dude? Isn't that crazy? That was almost 20 years ago.
Yeah. I think it's crazy every time September 11 comes up and I look back and I'm like, I was 18 years old and I was in the desert. I remember like every moment of that. So it's interesting. But hey, let's not get off topic. So what do you think has led us to this point where we're seeing a team like Indiana and Miami? We talked about how the NIL ruins college football, but could we say that maybe in this case it's made it more interesting?
So yes and no. I think when you're looking at college football, the biggest thing that you have to look at is, who's leading the charge here? NIL has now allowed teams of any kind to kind of play the field. Obviously, your big dogs are going to get, the most money. And I think nowadays it's given a lot of players that may not have received a lot of playing time at one university to go out and prove themselves at another. I look at Indiana, and it really comes down to Kurt Signetti leading this team. I mean, he was a JMU guy for a very long time, had a very rich history, and I think this was kind of his big break. And man, it really just kind of the cards fell into place for him. Mario Cristobal, if you're an SEC fan, has been around he was with Alabama in 2015. That 2015 team was Mario Cristobal, Tosh, what was his name? It was like Tosh Pate. He's now the DC at Oregon. You remember the interview of that kid that was doing the Nick Saban impression?
No. So you're nerding out on college football.
Yeah, right now, well, he's now an OC at Baylor. Obviously, you had Saban as the head coach, but you had Kirby Smart as the DC, Lane Kiffin as the OC. You had a lot of guys. Your strength conditioning coach is now coaching, I think, at like not Southern, like Western Michigan or some shit like that. I mean, like they're all over the place now. That 2015 tree is all head coaches. The GA was Dan Lanning.
Wow.
The graduate assistant in 2015 was Dan Lanning.
Wow.
And he was a GA at Georgia too. So
yeah,
it really
you
comes
can say the Nick Saban coaching tree is really spread out.
Oh yeah,
not just in the college football ranks, but maybe that's the Bill Belichick coaching tree of the college football ranks. And I mean that's definitely it's expanded. So yeah, I mean obviously great coaching is a big part of it, but I think the idea that do you think Mendoza would be quarterback in that team if he could be quarterback in the USCs or the Texas or the Oklahomas or?
They play such a different type of game, man. I mean, really, Indiana has a different play style. It's very pass heavy, and people want to kind of shoot the kid down because he doesn't have the most overwhelming stats. Well, he doesn't need to when they're up by 25 at the half.
Defense is nonstop. Man.
Defense is nonstop.
Is probably one of the best in college football.
It's kind of crazy to see that. I'm really impressed by it. I didn't think anybody was really going to be touching your Michigans, your Ohio States. I mean, even some of the other teams, even some of the bigger guys, Georgia, Alabama.
Georgia's got the best defensive lineman every year, but I mean,
yeah. Well, that was because Kirby Smart came in for a long time. I mean, Georgia was there. They were always in there, but they could never break through that like kind of glass ceiling up until Kirby Smart really came there. And that's been kind of, I mean, for my lifetime watching those guys play, that's been kind of the most relevant for me.
Sure.
But I also joined in kind of watching college football a little bit later. I mean, I started in like 2012, 13, right around when Urban Meyer came into Ohio State and just started winning. Unfortunately, I was, 13, 14 years old, not really having much else to do in my life.
Just able to be a straight Ohio State homer at that point.
You had to at that point. But, I've seen and I've learned a little bit more about, stuff progressing, and I understand, kind of what's going on with different coaching trees and stuff like that. So for me personally, it's all leadership.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it, first off is leadership, next off is money. So Mario Cristobal's done a great job. He got a lot of criticism for some terrible head coaching decisions, but no, it was great. It was great to see it. Hey, Carson Beck, he spent 5 years in college.
Good for him. He spent 5 years in college, but you have to look. That's another benefit of that NIL, right? If he would have stayed at Miami, realistically, would he Georgia? Would he have been the quarterback this year or moving forward? He goes to Miami, kind of resurrects his career. It's like getting traded or it's like the Baker movement.
Yeah.
And he's not lighting it up by any stretch. It's not like he's winning these games with 300 yards of passing and 4 touchdowns, but he's lighting them up with gut, man. He's really going to do a number on himself. We'll see what that does to his draft status. I think if he doesn't come back, does he have another year of eligibility? No. So he's done this year.
I mean, honestly, man, it's so convoluted. I think there's the problem with NIL, the problem that came down in college football is that you open Pandora's box. And when you opened that, you had no barriers to kind of keep it in a straight line. It's scattered now. It's all over the place. It's all over everywhere.
Yeah.
So he could probably find a reason to have I needed a medical red shirt in 2019, or so on and so like. And hey, if you really want to stay there and make that kind of money, man, hey, good for you. If you don't think you're going to be a top overall draft pick of some kind, which shouldn't discourage you from going in the draft. Purdy and Brady are 2 right guys right off the top of my head. Dak Prescott was a 4th-round pick out of Miss State.
Yeah, I mean, it could happen with anybody.
It really can.
Right?
For
In fact,
me,
I heard comps actually to Beck and Prescott the other day. I don't know how accurate they are. I don't think that's a comparison. But then again, I mean, college football, Dak Prescott was like years ago at this point.
He's been in the league for 10 years.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
That's fucking nuts.
I saw something the other day that was talking about it. Maybe it was when I was looking at his contract or something like that. And I was like, geez, oh man, I didn't realize.
31, 32, something like that. Like that's, I can't believe that.
Yeah.
I mean,
and he had his best year as a pro, I think, this year too. So, I mean, what's the future for him look like?
Him, Pickens, and Lamb.
Yeah.
Now, if he can only stay healthy, but that digress.
So this is Carson Beck's final year of college football. He's actually playing in his 6th year currently.
Okay.
So he got redshirted after transferring. Redshirted in his freshman year, and then he got an extra year on a waiver for our college for the COVID whole thing. So
the fact that people are still having that COVID roll into effect almost a decade later is fucking nuts.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, like I said, this is an opportunity for him that he's going to be able to. Hopefully, he's making a name for himself in this. You know, he could be somebody who goes from a 4th, 5th round draft pick to a 2nd, 3rd round pick.
He's the type of guy that you go in, and if Shanahan gets his hands on him, Kevin O'Connell, I mean, even like the Seahawks, if they get your hands on you, I mean, you got to be with a young offensive-minded coach that can coach you up. I mean, you're going to do some great things. I mean, look at this. I just want you to take a reference for this here really quickly. You obviously, being a USC fan, loved, and you know who I'm going to say. You know who I'm going to say here, right?
Matt Leinart?
No.
Palmer?
No.
Who?
Sam Darnold.
Oh, I did. I loved him, and then like we didn't win the championship that year, and we really should have. And
you guys were a good team that year.
And I was like, fuck it, I'm done. It's like the same thing with all USC quarterbacks, though. They start to have the same trend. They have an amazing year. They have to come back for their junior year. And then they kind of digress just a little bit, like Matt Barkley. He digressed a lot his last year. They talked about it being a first round pick. You know what I mean? So,
well, my point is I don't want to get you too off far here. Is Sam Darnold went into the New York Jets.
Yeah,
massively dysfunctional organization.
Yeah, so
he then went into the Panthers, another massively dysfunctional organization, and that time there he spent just absolutely dying from every possible, just if it's from the media, if it's from the fans, if it's on the field. He then got let go, and it took Kyle Shanahan 6 months to touch him and see and work his magic.
Is that we're saying that Kyle Shanahan resurrected his Minnesota career?
Brother, he didn't do what he did in Minnesota if he didn't make that pit stop in San Francisco first.
I don't know, but possibly.
I mean, listen, man.
I mean, either way, he's eating it up. We'll see what he does this weekend.
I mean, and look at him now. He's on the Seahawks, and he got $100 million contract.
Yeah.
If you would have told me 3 to 4 years ago that Baker would be in Tampa Bay and that Deshaun Watson is not even in football right now and Sam Darnold somehow got $100 million contract, I would have looked at you like, you're absolutely insane.
Yeah,
what are you talking about? Like,
I mean, there was a time where nobody wanted that contract. He got traded for less than Baker. I think he got traded for like a 6th round pick or something.
I think he even got released.
He may have.
I think they only had to pay like the remainder of his contract, which was probably only a couple $100,000.
Yeah. But going back to college football playoffs, who do you got for the championship?
I got Indiana.
Do you really?
I think this team has just been so hot and they've been rolling so well. I think Ohio State was probably their biggest challenge. Them playing Oregon doesn't prove anything to me personally because Oregon played the worst football they've ever played since Ohio State beat their ass.
We're going to talk mock drafts later, but we'll talk about what he did to his draft status.
Yeah, I think we'll get into that a little bit more. But overall, I have Indiana. I don't believe in Carson Beck. I think the wheels are going to fall off him at some point eventually. And if not, hey, you know what? Fucking I'm wrong.
I think that it's going to be a low scoring game and defense is going to make a play on one side.
Smashing the under, putting heavy money on the under.
I defense is scoring touchdowns. It's going to be something of that nature because I think you're right. I will say that I was shocked that Indiana put up 38 points last weekend or whatever it was. Now, he only had what? He had 4 touchdowns and 150 yards passing. So it's not like he lit the world on fire. He was just efficient when they got into the red zone. They had a couple of turnovers and things like that.
Yeah,
he had 3 interceptions in the first half or something like
that.
I
watched D'Angelo Pons make a pick 6 in the first couple minutes of the game, which is crazy.
So obviously the situation kind of was to his benefit, but Miami doesn't have a lighted up offense either in that sense. They have a big playmaker and they have a quarterback who's big and tall. I don't see them lighting
They got
up.
the best offensive line though.
They do, and they have one. And here's where I'm excited. I want to see what Ruben Bain does. This dude is becoming. He is climbing up my draft charts, and I know the last thing the Browns need is a defensive end. But if this dude wrecks this game like he's wrecked every other offensive line he's gone against, seeing him paired with Myles Garrett is just so good to be true. But I know we don't need it. For those Browns fans listening, they're like,
it's a pipe dream.
Please don't draft defense.
It's a pipe dream.
I agree, but like. I thought he was great until I saw him play Ohio State, and I was like, he massacred that offensive line. I swear, every passing play, he was putting his hands on the quarterback and stopping.
He had 8 sacks. Like there was no that offensive line couldn't hold him.
No, it
could not hold him.
He had 8 sacks in that game.
He didn't. Jordan St. got it.
I was about to say, I was like, sorry, I mean, it was pretty bad, but yeah, it was something else. So we'll see what happens in this game. I'm going to go with Miami. You said Indiana's hot. I think Miami's red hot. This is a team that's got a chip on their shoulder. Didn't think they were going to make it into the championship, and now they're playing with their asses on fire. That defensive line is going to be just.
I do want to say one thing first. Shout out to Trinidad Chambliss, quarterback for Ole Miss.
Yeah.
He got denied his red shirt. He got denied a 5th year, so he's actually going into the draft this year.
Yeah, I saw this.
That'd be sweet. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I don't think he's going to be a very highly drafted quarterback, but he's up there for sure in my book. I think
another Shador's 5th round draft pick ends up starting halfway.
Dude, if it's a fit, dude, if you got a 5th round draft pick and honestly, if that's the best player on your board, you did something. Everybody else fucked up somewhere because that kid's a dog. I think he led a great Ole Miss offense. I even think losing your coach mid-season or even end of the season. Yeah, start of the playoffs. You put yourself together, you put the team on your back, and you did some great stuff overall. Shout out Trinidad Chambliss. I think he's going to be a dog. I think he's going to do a lot of good stuff. Do I think he's going to be a 15-year NFL starter? I hope so.
I mean, you never know what's going to happen with quarterback. We just talked about Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold being out of the league, essentially, right? Geno Smith was out of the league essentially, and then resurrected his career. I mean,
he was riding the pine.
You get in front of the right people, and anything could happen.
Yeah.
So enough about college football. Let's talk about this coaching circle that is going on in Cleveland right now. I mean, first of all, I think there's 8 job openings now. Are Baltimore and Pittsburgh the best?
Baltimore, yeah, I would say Baltimore 1, Pittsburgh 2. Giants, I think, could turn it around if they actually had some competent people running the show.
Why do you think Pittsburgh, other than job security?
I just don't see that organization make a ton of mistakes on all fronts.
Well, they did pay TJ Watt a whole crap load of money for really washed up play and injury issues moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, that turns into a lot of players, though, to be honest with you.
They did put all their whole season on the back of a 42-year-old quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, hey, listen, there is allowed to be some incompetencies, man. I mean, you're going to have some kinks in the armor at some point. You've had 4 head coaches, though. So, I mean, you got
the longevity. I mean, as long as you get that team to a 500 record, you're going to get 18 years there.
Yeah.
So right now you got Atlanta, Arizona. Let's see, Arizona, Atlanta, Baltimore, obviously Cleveland, Raiders, Dolphins, Giants, Pittsburgh, Titans are the available jobs.
I think the worst of those, the real worst of those, I think is the Dolphins.
Yeah, I think that
a lot of money tied up.
Well, you got a couple, right? It depends on what you're looking for. It's interesting. I heard the other day.
Can we, you know what? Take that list and honestly, let's just go. Let's see some pros and cons between all of them. Realistically,
well, let's start out with let's go alphabetical order. Let's go Arizona.
Okay, you have a lot of money tied up to a quarterback that you can get out of at some point, or you're going to eat a lot of dead cap.
I'll put it up here so you can see.
Beautiful. Yeah. I mean,
you had a quarterback who got a big contract, underdelivered, been injured multiple years in a row. Frankly,
best tight end in the game, some decent wide receivers, okay running back play.
But you look at a team. I mean, honestly, what did they do with Marvin Harrison? This guy was like a surefire product. I mean, everybody talked about him being the most dominant wide receiver coming out of the NFL draft, the most pro-ready receiver.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, that dude's dropping the ball left and right. I think he had 3 drops his entire career at Ohio State, and he had like 7 last year, and he only played in like 11 games or something. They've destroyed him. Kyler Murray is a disaster. I don't know what's going to happen with them.
He likes Call of Duty more than he likes NFL football.
I mean, you can always go back to baseball. We just talked about that last week, right?
No, yeah, true.
Yes, you got an amazing tight end. You got a terrible defense. I'm not sure if they have any salary cap, but it's just it's a team that is definitely. I could see them in a situation where, I mean, because here's the thing: you got Marvin Harrison is probably 3 years in right now. This is third year.
Yeah.
So you got 1 year and then his 5th year option for him. So he's going to be either demanding big money or you're going to trade him right now.
You're going to 100% trade him. This team right here is 4 or 5 years away from
full
being
tank mode.
They're 4 or 5 years away from being 2 to 3 years away for competing.
Well, I mean, anything could change, right? Maybe they get Mike Tomlin, right? And he just turns them into just getting by. But yeah, I'd say they're very far away. They're in a complete rebuild. They're going to tear it down. I mean, the smart money says they tear it down completely. They have number 1 picks for the next 3 years, and they get the most they can for a guy like Harrison. They try to get rid of Murray's contract, and they're very unwatchable for the next 2 years. So when it comes to a coach, that's probably the least
like typical Arizona football.
I mean, there was a
that's
time,
the worst fan base in the NFL. You know that, right?
The Raiders are right up there as you count them in Las Vegas. If you
okay, so that fan base in Oakland or that fan base in Las Vegas does not count because that is a bunch of transplants that go to see that stuff. True Oakland Raiders fans that are from Oakland that carried them through they're at Los Angeles and Oakland days. Those are some diehard crazy. They're crazier than the Browns.
They're Browns fans that
on the West Coast
screwed over so many times.
Yeah, and this fan base here, they don't care. Like I don't see Arizona.
The Raiders in the Raiders game. Oh, you're talking about the Cardinals?
Yeah, they just don't care. Yeah. Like their fan base doesn't like. It's like being a Chargers fan. Nobody's a Chargers fan,
and yet they have more Super Bowl appearances than the Cleveland Browns.
Isn't that not? Well, shout out Kurt Warner and Larry Fitzgerald for doing that one.
Dude, they've had a team. Dude, they had Anquan Bolden back in the day.
Like Pat Peterson, they had Hopkins. I mean, dude, they had some David Johnson. They had some dogs on that team. They
definitely could have done more with what they had. But
it's incompetency.
So, I think Arizona, frankly, is the worst job.
I don't know about that.
We're gonna go through the rest.
Let's go ahead. All right.
Next one's Atlanta
Falcons.
All right. So Atlanta may or may not have a quarterback. Penix is major knee injury. Is he gonna be out for all next year? Because he injured it like halfway through the season, didn't he?
I have no idea. I don't even know what happened. I don't know what he tore, what happened, or anything like that
either. Kirk Cousins is your quarterback, so this will be interesting because obviously Kevin Stefanski, I think, is the hot coach for this one. So as a Browns fan, it's like that's probably the ideal spot for a guy like Kevin Stefanski.
If you want to, if you want to pass on, 3rd and goal at the 2-yard line and. Not run the ball with the best running back in the NFL.
I was going to say that's the thing. Somebody's going to go there. You do have the best running back in the game. You do have Kyle Pitts, who it looked like all of a sudden got unlocked like 2 weeks left into the season, enough to screw me over in fantasy.
Yeah.
I think he had like 50 points, and that's more than he had the whole rest of the year.
They got a good base. They got a good base on offense right there. I think they've
got a running game. It depends on what's going to go on with Penix. If he's going to miss some time, then they're going to definitely be looking for a quarterback, or they could just go at it with the veteran Kirk Cousins last year. He did not look awful. Defensively, I don't know a whole lot about them defensively. Obviously, they gave up a lot of points because they were scoring points.
So last year when we watched the draft, they actually traded their 1st round pick last year, which obviously to the Rams, to get 2 decent guys in James Pierce Jr. out of Tennessee, and I forget the other kid's name that they drafted in the 1st round as well, but he was an edge rusher as well, and they've been doing solid. They got a solid base of edge rushers right there. They finally let Grady Jarrett walk out of there for a while now. God, I can't remember the damn.
But they did make Matt Ryan the president of football operations.
Good. Why not? The guy carried you guys for years.
Yeah.
Matty Ice knows what he's doing.
We'll see.
Let Matty Ice keep doing his thing. He'll put that team on his back again and help him win.
All right. So Atlanta, I put him above Arizona.
They're at, on a scale of 1 to 8, 8 being the worst, 1 being the best. They're at like a 6 for me.
Yeah.
Some potential, but not the worst. You're not in the best spot in the planet.
All right. Now, this is an interesting one because everybody has this as the top job in the NFL. I think this is a head coach away from blowing up the Baltimore Ravens.
What do you mean? You mean blowing up?
I think that I don't like Lamar Jackson.
Why?
For a lot of reasons. I think he's terrible in the playoffs, and when the cold comes, he's more worried about getting bundled up than he is about getting out there and playing. 2, I don't think that he's a leader of men.
Okay.
And I think that's why his team falters so often.
Yeah.
He's really good at turning the ball over come the end of a game when it counts. He's a hell of an athlete, but that's going to start to diminish. He's in what, year 7 or 8 right now?
2018 was the year he got drafted. It was the Baker draft.
Yeah, so he's in year 8. He's running less than he ever had this year, and I can see why. Right, he's been hurt a couple of times. He's going to be
30. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not talking down about the guy as far as an athlete. He's still a far better athlete than I'll ever be.
Same.
But what I am saying is that could go wrong really fast. In fact, they were talking at the end of the season that like maybe Lamar wasn't their quarterback, and obviously that might have been a play in what happened with
brother.
Harbaugh.
These people are fucking crazy. This is the best job in the NFL. Okay,
tell me why.
This guy, because this team is a couple offensive linemen and a true wide receiver one away from doing something special. Okay, we saw exactly this year what happens when you have Lamar Jackson versus when you don't have Lamar Jackson. Okay. They go from a winning product and a guy that can carry them on their back to a team that has no idea where they are. They are a lost child in a grocery store calling for their mommy. Okay. There's two different types. There's two different things here.
What's up, Jared? I see you out there.
Listen,
Jared, tuning in for the higher caliber podcast.
Jared,
make sure you guys check that out if you're on YouTube.
What's going on, Jared? But back to my point here. You can't falter a lot of this on Lamar. Okay, it's not his fault. He doesn't have a wide receiver one. I'm sorry, Rashad Bateman is not doing it for me. Mark Andrews is old as hell, and Isaiah Likely is a flash in the pan.
Well, what about
Derek? He can't control Derrick Henry's fumble problems too.
Well, we're gonna put it on these guys. We're not gonna put any of this on Jackson and his attitude. And we don't know that he missed time
he takes blame for this.
He just didn't want to be there.
He takes blame for his own stuff, but he can only control so much. It's not his fault that Derrick Henry gets the ball punched out of him and fumbles in a very dude, we watched it happen multiple times. He gets the ball punched out at very critical times.
So you think Stefanski takes him to the Super Bowl?
I think he takes him to the dumpster, honestly.
Oh, what do you mean? This is an all caliber team. How about the fact that they're looking at Jim Schwartz this week? How's that make you feel?
I mean, whatever, man.
I fucking hate that. If they take Jim Schwartz from us,
they're going, dude. Jim Schwartz is too good for the Browns.
I can't even believe he's only got one other head coaching interview. Like, to me,
because he failed as the Lions head coach.
I mean, but the Lions. Right?
That was not the good Lions, though.
No, it was the train wreck Lions that drafted a receiver with the top 5 pick for 5
No. I'm sorry. Do you want to watch the train wreck Lions? Go watch Matt Patricia coach the train wreck Lions. Gosh. That was bad. That was terrible. Ugh. That's but again, in short, best job in the NFL.
The defense is average. Your secondary is probably the bottom 10.
I'm sorry, we're not even factoring this in. Your division is ass.
I agree with that part. Okay, so all right, let's compare them. Let's just say we'll compare them to the Browns and the Steelers because they're in the same division.
Yeah.
Defense between the 3.
I'm taking the Browns.
Okay. Offense between the 3.
Oh man, they're all terrible. I'm taking the Ravens
because of Lamar Jackson
and Derrick Henry
plays
and Mark Andrews.
Do we think Derrick Henry's going to be worth anything next year? Let's be honest. Like, he started to slow down a lot this year. He's never been a problem for the Browns. Like, I don't know why he's a problem for the rest of the league. I mean, all you got to do is tackle him at the knees and he goes down and you don't have to worry about him running you over.
I don't know.
10 yards down the line of scrimmage.
Even though JOK probably high-key ended his career after that hit. Oh, that was brutal.
You mean he ended JOK's career?
No, JOK ended his own career by trying to tackle Derrick Henry and snap his. Did you ever see the replay on that? You just see his head and neck go 2 different directions.
Oh, I don't even want to think about it.
It's disgusting.
Either way, I'm really surprised that they fired Harbaugh.
I
mean, let's be honest. They've got a Super Bowl. He's been there 18 years. They're just above 500 in the playoffs.
That's it, though. There's been nothing, dude. Joe Flacco got them that ring. Okay.
Hold on. So you're telling me Joe Flacco's a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson?
Just putting the name out there, dude. I'm not saying that at all.
I'm saying I think
Kurt Warner never won a Super Bowl. Do you think Joe Flacco is better than Kurt Warner?
No.
Okay. Well, that's just.
So I'm not going to say that that Joe Flacco got him that ring.
He was the guy that led
that defense got that fucking ring. Let's be honest.
I'm sorry.
Ray fucking Lewis.
I'm sorry. Ray Lewis got them that Super Bowl.
God, I was all excited to say his name.
Terrell Suggs.
The safety. What was his name? Ed Reed.
Yeah.
That's who got that team that championship. Now, Joe Flacco
against the Colin Kaepernick 49ers.
Take a knee.
Feel old.
Take a knee, Kaepernick. That is so long ago, bro.
And he's still bitching about not having an NFL job. I find that so funny to me. But I digress.
I don't think Baltimore's the top pick.
Yeah.
I don't know who is right now. As I'm looking through this, to me,
they all have their flaws.
You have a ton of expectations going into Baltimore, and
Yeah.
anything could go. Like one thing could go wrong with that quarterback, and the job turns into a sub 500.
I think in the long term, it's the better job. In the short term, it's hell because you still have so many questions that need to be answered, like wide receiver, your aging group. Like there's a lot of things that up front are going to add a lot of pressure to you as the new head coach. But overall, long term, it's the best job. It's the most secure. If you go out there, you make a couple playoff appearances, you'll be all right.
Yeah,
this is number one for me easily.
All right, we're gonna skip this next job. We're gonna come back to Cleveland, but let's go to Los Angeles or Las Vegas.
This is the absolute seventh, probably bottom of the. Now, this is the worst. This is easily the worst, actually, for me. They have no offensive line. They have no leadership. Pete Carroll's 80 fucking years old. Did you know that? He's 80 fucking years old.
78.
I'm rounding.
I don't think Pete Carroll was the problem here. I think the problem with this team is culture. When you tell your best defensive player that he's not going to play the last 2 weeks of the season because you don't want to fucking win a game, that is a problem.
They need to trade him. We need Max Crosby here. And
Crosby should 100% be traded. He does not deserve to play for.
He loves that Vegas lifestyle, though, man.
That team does not deserve him. So they've got the number 1 overall pick. That's what you can say they've got going.
Bottom of the barrel. No coach. No true leadership. No answer at quarterback. No offensive line. No wide receivers. Nothing is there that tells me and any indication at all that I would want to be their head coach. I would, if I was a free agent head coach, I would run from that job.
So it's interesting. I have not heard. So we talked about Stefanski. He's basically making the circle, right? Everybody wants to talk to Stefanski.
Yep.
I have not heard anybody confirm an interview with the Raiders. Maybe McDaniel, but
maybe they're not even opening up interviews right now.
Maybe.
I don't know why you wouldn't, but
I'm just wondering. Does anybody even want that job? The only thing you have going for you is that you get the number 1 overall pick if you're going to take Mendoza. But what if you're a quality OC or head coach candidate and you don't like Fernando Mendoza? You know that's who they're taking unless they take Dante Moore. Did he declare?
I don't know yet.
I don't think he's declared yet.
He can go back. He doesn't have to declare. He can't.
Right.
Yeah, he can't go back. So
I think it'd be the best thing for him, but that's his choice. I don't know how much he's getting paid.
I mean, in the Big Ten, though, man, it's tough.
You're playing for Oregon. A team wins every year.
Yeah, but now you have to face Ohio State, Michigan, and Indiana.
Yeah, maybe not next year.
And Penn State, who's constantly a problem from time to time.
Yeah. So anyhow, Raiders, yeah, I think that's a huge problem. I think they might be worse off than the Cardinals because they have. I don't even know who they would trade to start rebuilding their team other than Max Crosby. And everybody knows Max Crosby wants out. Did he get a contract last year? Was that last year that Crosby was trying to fight for a contract?
Oh, shout out Trey Tucker, by the way, Nordonia High School grad.
Hey, how about that?
I know. Play track and field.
Max Crosby, current contract. Yeah, I don't know if I thought they paid him last year. All right, contract 3 years, $106 million, $91 million.
Yeah, he signed it last year.
Signed it last year. So he's stuck on the Raiders through the 2029 season because he's probably got
he's
huge
fucking old, dude. He's like 32.
What is Max Crosby cap hit for 2026? If traded. See, if ChatGPT is not the best for sports, neither is Grok. We need like a sports one. If traded, dead cap charge $5.1 million. That's interesting. Trading clears $30 million in salary. Cap hit for 2026, $30 million. Any teams that trades for Capsy would have to fully guarantee his 26 base salary of $30 million. I don't think this is right.
I don't think it is either.
I don't think.
While you look that up, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Of course you do. You know we're live, right? We can't go to the bathroom.
Yes, live. You absolutely can. When you have a bladder of a squirrel, yes, you absolutely can.
All right, stand by. It's just me now here, guys. What's happening? If you are still watching, Higher Caliber, appreciate you guys checking in. Yeah, the idea of this live show is that anybody could join in. So we've got a Discord invite. You can hop on that. Once you're in there, we can bring you live. You can be on camera, not be on camera. It's up to you. And while you're in, we look forward to chatting it up a bit. The idea is that this is a sports talk show that you don't have to worry about not making it on the show or being on hold. Everybody is welcome tonight. We're talking. Start off with the college football playoffs. We're talking head coaches right now. We're going through them as Ed's taking his little bathroom break, and then we're going to finish up with kind of a little mock draft for the NFL. So if you're out there and you got anything to say on who the Browns should draft, make sure you comment below, share with us what you're thinking. And if you're interested in being on the show in the future and you just want to come talk sports with the guys, make sure you download Discord app and look up the Guys Night podcast. All right, so once again, while we're waiting for Ed to get back, we're talking about NFL coaching positions that are available, and right now it's a complete disaster. In my opinion, most of the jobs that are out there are not that of desire. But we're going to get to the Raiders now and finish this one up, as we both believe that this could be the worst possible position. Who else on the Raiders is worth a hoot at any position?
Ashton Genty.
You're right. You've got a running back, no offensive line, and I mean Ashton Genty. I think he's a good running back. I think he's closer to Trent Richardson than he is to Adrian Peterson.
I think if you go to a team that actually has an average offensive line, you'd be able to see kind of what this kid can actually do, but you have nobody there. This is also, we're talking about a team here who has, for lack of a better term, punted every single first-round draft pick that they've ever had. If you pulled up some of these first-round draft picks that the Raiders have had from like 2000, and you can go to 2010 and see just the garbage that has been in that organization for a long time. I mean, I'm glad that the fact that Tom Brady's taken it over, and I'm glad that they're able to actually do something like that and, have a guy like him come in, but
yeah, that's an interesting aspect of this. We'll see what Tom Brady does as being part of it. I know he's going to be part of the coaching aspect. All right, so 2025 was Ashton Gentry.
Great.
Jack Beck was their second-round receiver out of
TCU.
Yep. Darian Porter, Caleb Rogers, Charles Grant. So they did go offensive line. And yes, 2024, Brock Bowers. Okay, you got a tight end.
I forgot about Brock Bowers. I think he was injured for a little bit there too.
Yeah, he missed quite a bit of the season, or he was like sort of injured. And I think you've got Mike Mayer too. Is another
Michael Mayer out of Notre Dame was a dog.
Yeah,
he needs some more playing time. They need Stefanski needs to go there because that's his wet dream of running 12,
two tight ends and a running back, dude.
Yeah, I mean
that's a Stefanski job
that's a Stefanski job all day. That scheme fit is nasty.
I mean, and frankly, if you brought in Stefanski, and here's me playing devil's advocate to them drafting Mendoza, you could literally pick up a average quarterback. You might even keep Geno Smith at that point.
Yeah, you could trade that money.
That first overall pick becomes quickly 4 Jets first round picks. If you know what I mean. You trade that down to the Jets, you pick up 2 of their first this year, 2 of their first next year. Now all of a sudden you're looking like you can rebuild a team really quickly. Yeah. You just have to convince Raiders ownership and their GM that Mendoza is not the guy. We need to wait and be patient because they could easily go 3-14 again one more year and end up with the first overall pick next year, along with 2 other first rounds in a draft that now is looking to have 2 or 3 quarterbacks in it. That could be worth something.
Let me tell you,
or you take a flyer on a guy like Carson Beck or the quarterback out of Ole Miss later in the first,
John Mateer
round. So you've got some options.
I'll tell you this. I'm so excited already for next season to be just like up and done with already because there's so many good quarterbacks next year. I mean,
we said 5. That last year too, though.
Yeah, but dude, you got to understand. You have Arch, who you're a big guy on.
I love Arch.
You have Julian Sayin, who I'm very high on. Very accurate at least. And no minimum, he knows how to make a smart decision. Okay, you have DJ Lagway, who's like Anthony Richardson, I feel like. He committed to Baylor. Brendan Sorsby, who went from Indiana. He transferred before Signetti was there and went to Cincy, put up a lot of numbers, and now he's out. I don't remember where he went to. You have Drew Mestamaker, who I've been very high on out of North Texas.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
North Texas.
You got, what's his name out of LSU?
Garrett Nussmeier is the only guy that I know there, but he's done. Is he
coming out this year?
He has to. Wow. This is last year.
Let's see who else you got. Gosh, who's the kid out of North Carolina that just went back? That they were talking about him being a top 10 pick this year. Is it North Carolina State? No, it's North Carolina. Come on.
I don't know who you're thinking of. I don't watch a lot of North Carolina or North Carolina State football, dude. I'm sorry. John Mateer is going to be going back though.
It's North Carolina State. It's or it's not.
Dante Moore, if he stays, that's next year's class too. He's arguably the best one out of all of them. Jordan Mailata. Who's the quarterback?
USC.
Yeah. Who's the kid from
Lenore Sellers?
South Carolina. Yeah.
Thinking of.
Yeah,
guys. I watched like no college football until like the last 2 weeks of this year. I knew we were gonna tank. I knew we were gonna just punt on quarterback this year, and I was like, there's a lot. Arch Manning,
but my point being, there's a lot of good quarterbacks next year. I think if you were smart and you could see ahead a little bit, and you already know you're gonna stink, what's the point of just killing a kid?
I mean, maybe, but then if you're the Browns, you're also we're gonna get to that position. But if we're Cleveland fans, do we want to give Shedeur a full season and a shot and what if he takes his team to 9-7 and then do we pull the plug on a first overall pick type quarterback? You know what I mean?
It's a loaded question that me and you aren't paid enough to answer, to be honest with you.
Raiders 2023, Tyree Wilson.
Yeah,
Michael Mayer was the second round pick as a tight end out of Notre Dame. Byron Young, Trey Tucker. Aiden O'Connell.
You want to know
round pick out of
Purdue. You want to know something? You just read Byron Young, third rounder.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to know where he's playing right now?
Canada?
No. You know, he's actually going to be a Pro Bowler for the Los Angeles Rams because this organization was so inept. They cut him. They cut that kid and let him go to LA, and boom, he's a star next to Jared Verse.
Wow.
On the opposite edge.
2022, Dylan Parham was their first pick, and he was in the third round along with Zamir White. Alex Leatherwood was a first round pick. He was a huge bust.
Fuck,
did he do a stint in Cleveland?
No.
No. I thought he came like a practice squad player.
No, the only offensive lineman that I remember that came to Cleveland via the draft was Cole Strange. He was the Patriots' first overall pick a while back out of
there was another one too, a center out of Baltimore that we had that came in. I thought that maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Shit. No, it wasn't Tyler Linderbaum who's currently there.
Either way, terrible draft. Like we talk about Cleveland Browns drafts. We didn't even have first round picks, and these are fucking way. This is a terrible draft history.
All right, so next one that you got for us here after the Raiders.
Yeah, let's scroll down. Let's see who we got here. Next one's the Miami Dolphins.
This is
a problem fucking for anybody.
This is 5. I mean, if you can figure out the Tua situation, Mike McDaniel actually knew what he was doing and kind of won some games. I
didn't think they were going to fire him. And then finally they were like, so do you think they fired him because they had the drop on Harbaugh? And he was like, I'm not going to talk to you unless you fire McDaniel. I mean, we don't know behind the scenes.
I don't know. But that team is just so dramatic.
Well, you got Tyreek Hill who's going to come back and demand a trade next year.
You have Jalen Waddle who just is not – he needs to be in a better system because he has regressed. But Tua's also not – really done anything with him like special.
Yeah, Jalen Waddle, I liked him coming out of Bama. He was like honestly, I thought he kind of compared a lot to Tyreek Hill. I just think that I think Tua just couldn't get them the ball downfield. And that was the problem with that. Like they are catch and run guys, but they're not like 5 yards in the middle of the linebackers catch and run guys.
They got lucky and saved by Devon Achane.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So fucking lucky and saved by Devon Achane.
100%. And that's another team that, I mean, you've got a couple of players. Let's see. You've got a couple of players on that team that are decent, but when you go into the history of them, you don't have, like I said, Hill's going to want out. Achane, he might be a free agent this year. Not sure.
No.
Last year, your 13th pick was Kenneth Grant out of Michigan,
who sucked.
Yeah, Jordan Phillips was a 5th round. I mean, they had a 2nd round pick, Jonas Sullivan. That's probably because of the Tyreek Hill trade. 1st round pick in 2023 was forfeited. 2024 was Chop Robinson. I don't even remember Chop Robinson.
He was decent.
Patrick Paul, Jalen Wright. Achane was a 3rd round pick in 2023.
Where did he go to
signed
college?
A 4-year contract. Achane?
Yeah.
Texas AMU.
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know he came out of A&M.
Yeah, I don't remember him at all, but at 5'9", 185, it's easy to see why. Yeah, going back to 2022, Channing Tindall, Eric is
Channing Tindall was a dog. I think he went to Wyoming.
Georgia. So Jalen Waddle, 2021, that means, is he a free agent this year or he get a contract extension?
Waddle?
Yeah, because 2021 would be his 5-year would have
paid.
been this year, would have been his 5th year.
He's definitely already gotten paid. That team was handing out contracts to everybody.
Yeah, they had Jaden Phillips that year, which Jaden Phillips just got traded. So yeah, he signed a 3-year deal in 2024.
Yeah, so he's there
keeping him contract to the 28 season. So he's got 2 years. He had $76 million guaranteed.
That's crazy.
Kudos to him. God, dude, $30 million a year for a wide receiver that's putting up less than 1,000 yards. I mean,
you know who's close to being paid like that? Jerry Jeudy.
If Jerry Jeudy would have had the contract or the year this year that he had the year before, he would have been a fucking extreme value. For what Barry paid him when he first signed him, a steal compared to what wide receivers are getting right now.
Yeah.
But
I think it was like 3 years, 60 million or some shit.
Yeah. So I mean, you compare that to Waddle, who's got basically the only thing wrong with Jeudy is he became a fucking nutcase the last 8 games of the season.
Yeah, He's a head case that needs to get out of Cleveland.
I feel like once again, that's the thing about some of these players, dude, is it's just like, did Stefanski set him up for success, for failure? You don't know. One thing about Stefanski, people might not remember this. Now, he ended up being a head case even in Buffalo, but Stephon Diggs hated Stefanski and was tired of the fact that his offense fed the ball to tight ends and never got the balls to playmakers and wide receivers. Do you remember that?
Was that the year that like TJ Hawkinson broke out as like one of the best tight ends in the
I can't remember.
country?
I mean, it was the year before he got traded to, or was when he got traded to Buffalo.
Yeah, that was.
But he complained about his fucking. What was it?
That was like 2018, I think. I don't remember. Those years are starting to fade very fast from my memory for some reason in terms of what happened with these guys.
Let's see. Complained about the Minnesota Vikings offense, felt they were committed to a run-heavy scheme and didn't utilize them enough, which led to his trade in 2020 to the Buffalo Bills. So, yeah, it was right before we brought Stefanski over. And then they got Justin Jefferson and started throwing the ball all over the field.
Could you imagine if that team actually stayed together? Could you imagine Stephon Diggs, which, by the way, he was an animal. He had like 1,500 yards
he was a
in
beast.
Buffalo.
Yeah, he was a beast his first couple of years. I mean, he'd be washed the fuck up now, but yeah, his like 2 years ago with Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, and
that wide receiver room is probably would be one of the greatest I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, you have to be honest. Like we talk about when Stefanski was so hot back there. Just think about that. He had Diggs. He had Justin Jefferson at that point in time. He also had what was the running back's name?
Dalvin
Cook, who was a perennial Pro Bowler. I mean, you just had a lot of talent on that offense. And then you had Kirk Cousins as your quarterback, who to this day
and Case Keenum
doesn't impress me, but for whatever reason, he just lights up the stat board, dude. It's just insane.
He's not impressive. I got to be honest. I don't
think anybody would try to tell you that he is. Like,
Big Kirko gets paid.
Yeah, he gets paid, but why not?
Ain't good for him.
Let's see. All right, who else we got up here?
Let's blow through these next couple ones.
The New York Giants.
This is probably top 3 spot for me personally
because they got a quarterback. They have a semi decent offensive line. They've got a couple of playmakers on defense.
They are one wide receiver, one away, and
you got a wide receiver one. You got Malik Neighbors, who has missed half the season.
That's true. Okay, you know what? I'm sorry. I was thinking in the sense of Wan'Dale Robinson, who's taking a big step as well.
Yeah.
Shout out Kentucky. Malik, Wan'Dale. You have now Scadaboo as well. Jackson Dart, a decent O-line. Really, you're just looking for somebody that can handle the New York heat of that media, that fan base.
Yeah, and I think that's why they're saying, with Stefanski and Harbaugh are the two. That I did hear today that maybe Harbaugh was not interested in the Giants job, or that could have been who's the Pittsburgh head coach that got let go?
Tomlin.
Tomlin wasn't interested. One of the two was not interested. I don't know what Giants defensive roster is. Let's see. You've got Thibodeau, Tyler Newman, Dexter Lawrence, which is
that front is the best in the game.
Yeah, let's see what their free agents look like for 2026. Not that it's a huge concern for anybody taking that job because you've got the key ones. Down Russell Wilson, free agent. Jermaine Ulumunar, your left tackle. Evan Neal, your right tackle. Greg Van Roten. Wendell Robinson's a free agent. He's going to get paid. He's only making $2 million a year right now.
Yeah, he's going to get paid big time.
Victor Diamuki. Most of these names I don't know who they are. So for the most part, you've got a roster that's going to stick together. You're probably going to pay Wendell, or you're just going to go find another receiver. Hopefully, what's his name comes back from injury. Okay.
Malik Neighbors.
I love Malik Neighbors, dude.
He's a dog.
He just flows, dude. I don't know what it is.
I'm interested. I'm truly interested to kind of see what's going to be happening with him. Obviously I kind of want to see him come back, but yeah, this is a top three coaching job for me. I mean, it's, again, you're a couple pieces away and some money management skills from really kind of just coming in and just dominating. I mean, that division, the Eagles are ass. Who else is in it? It's the NFC East. So the Cowboys, they're always going to give you a tough fight.
We'll see what happens with the old Redskins.
The Commanders. They've been ass this year.
Well, we're going to see what happens with Jalen Daniels his third year now.
Yeah.
And
a lot of injuries on that team.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the coaching fault. I think a lot of it just piled up on injuries.
Yeah. All right, next position is Pittsburgh Steelers, which just opened up today about a couple hours before the show.
That's another top 3 spot for me, man. I got to be honest. I think right now we're ranking it. I got Baltimore at 1. New York at 2, but I'm not confident in that. I'd maybe say Steelers a little bit more. Steelers, I'll say Steelers 2, New York 3. What else do we have there? It's really a battle of like the bottom. I'll say the Browns at 4. Ah, man.
Once again, it's going to depend on what you're looking for. But as far as the Steelers, you've got Kyler Duggar, who's a free agent.
They got a lot. They got a lot of pieces on.
Kenneth Gainwell's a free agent. Jabril Peppers. I forgot they even have Jabril Peppers. I mean, they don't have a whole lot of free agents. Connor Haywood, they're a huge tight end. But the problem with them is you have an aging roster. You got a guy who's got big money tied up now in TJ Watt, who it sounds like he's going to become more of like his brother going down the last couple of years. He's going to be good for 4 to 7 sacks a season, maybe. And
brother, he's like 29.
You know what? He's been injured a lot though.
I know, but like even still, he's only 20 freaking 9, dude. He got drafted in 19, I think.
Yeah.
The Browns could have taken him.
Yeah, he was a late first-round pick.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember who they took that year, but
wait. No, you know what? You know what draft that was? I believe. I think that was the Myles Garrett, Jabril Peppers, David Njoku draft in the last. Yeah, so that was 2017. Yeah, so wow. He's coming up on 9 years in the league. So yeah, he's about 30. Yeah, the Steelers took him with the last pick in the first round that year, I think.
So I didn't realize this. He played every game this year. I'm sorry, not every game. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Game started versus game played.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Looks like he played 14 games and had 7 sacks.
Yeah.
And 23 solo tackles. I was looking for behind the. Why does it not have?
He had a down year. I mean, he did, regardless, he had a down year from his like Pro Bowl all sack season that he had.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to worry about a guy like that. Who is he slowing down? But anyhow, you got a secondary that's below average. By far one of the worst secondaries in the league, I could actually say.
Terrible defense.
Who's their safety? Minka is probably, I mean, on his way out at this point.
He's old too.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, he is old. He's
for a safety, he's old.
Yeah.
Which, funny enough, his career has literally been Pittsburgh, Miami, Pittsburgh.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Jalen Ramsey's old too. I mean, the team's old. Cam Hayward, shout out Ohio State.
They have Ramsey on Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
God, I didn't even realize that. Really?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that team's aged. You don't have a quarterback. I would be interested to see what they do with DK Metcalf.
No, I gotta move this list down.
You're thinking because of the Pittsburgh Steelers and they finish 500 every year or above.
Yeah,
I'm telling you right now, if I'm a Pittsburgh fan and I just let go of Mike Tomlin, I know this has ended. I'm thinking to myself, are we about to just enter like a total
rebuild,
blow up? Are we going to be bad?
Yeah.
I mean, they got lucky when Cowher left and they had Tomlin and he comes in and takes them to the Super Bowl and he does all that. Like
he was like one of the youngest head coaches to ever win.
Yeah, he's only 53. He's been there 18 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So you got a guy in his mid 30s who came in.
He was 35 when he started. Well, I think it's just him and McVay too. McVay started coaching at like 33, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it's possible 42, 34. Yeah, he was 34 when they hired him. So I heard this on a local sports talk show this morning on the Ken Carmen and them in the morning, and
92.3 like, The Fan.
Do you worry now that as a Pittsburgh, you're going to hire a guy who can't get this roster to 500 and you start seeing the beginning of like 3 and 16, 3 and 15, 14 seasons?
I mean, it's going to happen at some point.
Well, but not with Tomlin, dude. And they were talking about today. They're like, they were a quarterback away for the last 4 years. Why do you think that is? He's like, because Tomlin was never going to let that team tank.
No, and he wasn't. But he finally, I imagine he probably just got sick and tired of being sick and tired and mediocre. And yeah, listen, it's going to happen unless they pull a rabbit out of their hat again, like Green Bay does with quarterbacks. They're going to enter into some dark days at some point in time.
Yeah, and you got to think DK Metcalf, is he going to get traded or released?
That dude is
his guaranteed contract.
That dude is a terrorist. Okay. He is Saddam Hussein. All right.
What are you talking about?
He's a terrorist. He drops every fucking pass that he's supposed to catch every time. And it's just because I had money on him at one point in the year and he fucked me royally. So you're a fucking terrorist, DK. And he smacks fans. Did you see that in Detroit when he smacked the shit out of a fan?
You know, there was records of him complaining about that fan prior to that game, though. And he even said something to security about it. So I don't know. We'll see. Either way, let's get back to the job. Right. Will Howard is their quarterback right now. If Aaron Rodgers leaves, which I'm sure he's retiring at this point.
Yes.
You got a tight end in Pat Freiermuth, and you got Jonnu Smith. And then other than that, yeah, Jalen Ramsey probably closer to retiring than starting. You do got Jalen Warren, but he's one of those backs. He's like not big enough to get the ball 20 times a game.
This team is okay.
And what did Mendenhall do when he left? Mendenhall went to San Diego or Arizona?
Rashad Mendenhall.
Yeah,
he hasn't played in football in like
God. Why am I doing
years,
this? Najee Harris. Jesus. It's like when you talk about some teams, you just have like this nostalgia about them that you just remember certain players. I meant Najee Harris.
What happened to Jerome Bettis after he won that Super Bowl in Detroit? Where was he at? Will,
where is Jerome at right now?
Fucking hell.
That's funny.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah. Anyhow, Najee Harris. Where did Najee Harris go?
Chargers, and then he got an eye. injury, and
he missed like the whole season, didn't he?
Yeah, something like
that. He
couldn't
see the whole before that. So
no, that dude was supposed to be Derrick Henry.
He had Trent Richardson syndrome, dude. He could not drive through a hole big enough for I-71.
Yeah, he couldn't see it. He couldn't see it. But no, this team is probably one of the bottom barrels. I think any head coach that takes this battle on, again, is kind of like Baltimore. You have a lot of short-term questions you have to answer, but long-term, it's a great organization that doesn't leave you questioning a lot.
Yeah, I don't think it's a job for an up-and-comer who's going to be a high-discipline kind of guy that they're going to want. They're going to have to believe in him, and they're going to have to set him up to and realize that, and this is where I wonder what goes on between these interviews, but as a guy that's coming up to this job, you're like, you guys realize like you're about to spend the next 2 years like rebuilding from scratch. I'm not here to get us to like 7-9 and 9-8 so that we can not get a quarterback or a high draft pick and try to rebuild this team and it's fucking old. And no, this is a roster very similar to the Cardinals roster.
This is a roster where you have to, the GM, the owner, and now the new head coach have to sit down and be like, are we okay with just starting over?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the reality of it. And you know what? They had a great run. They're great. They're a great organization. They run shit from top to bottom, just great. They don't leave you with a ton of questions at the end of the day. They're going to have to figure shit out, of course, but every organization at some point in time has that question of how the fuck can we get out of the shitty spot we're in now?
Last question for you about Pittsburgh. If they had a quarterback in the last 5 years, do you think they would have made a Super Bowl?
Oh, no.
You don't think?
No. I think a lot of that came down to play calling and people that you put around the quarterback. I don't think Darnell Washington and Jonnu Smith and
hold on to that thought process around your offensive coordinator and stuff. And we're going to talk about that next. So we're going to talk about that in the coaching.
All right. And then last one, Tennessee Titans.
Yeah. Tennessee.
This is a great spot to be in.
Why do you say that?
Cam Ward's dog.
Oh God, dude. Don't tell me you're on the Cam Ward fucking train.
Bro, I'm on the Cam Ward train. I think he's great.
I mean, okay, if you have your franchise quarterback and you like Cam Ward, there's opportunity. Rest of the roster, he's built from the bottom up.
You want to know what they have over everybody else? Money. Yeah. They have the money to spend. They have a great location that they're in right now. Nashville is always hot. Okay. And you still have some questions at quarterback. Yes, you are able to actually just spend the money that you want to bring in the people that are necessary. You're still a long ways away from competing and being a serious threat like when Vrabel had them. But
best players on that roster, Tony Pollard,
who's old.
He's done. Arden Key, Cameron Ward is their Cam Ward is their quarterback. Jeffrey Simmons, a defensive line, who's also old there. Amani Hooker at safety, maybe. I cannot pronounce the tight end's name, but you know who I'm talking about.
Chumadike.
Well done, dude. I mean, they don't have a roster either, but
it's such a fun team to just like start over and watch them grow. Like
you hope but here's the thing. You're getting a head coach who's, first of all, the coach you're hiring there is a builder. He's not a Harbaugh.
Yeah. He's not an established
I don't think Harbaugh wants to go to a team like that, frankly.
He's 64.
Right.
No, no chance.
Because you're looking at 7 years, 6 years. I mean, maybe they could win some games with Cam Ward, but then you have to have an offense that is this the quarterback I want to lead my offense? Because you're not coming off of them. They already made the decision.
100%.
So yes, it's not an awful spot. I mean, honestly, between me, when we look at this, and let's finish up with our.
I'm also biased because I would love to be down there. Like I would love to be if I was who I was.
If I was a head coach, I'd go to Nashville because I like to line dance.
Of course. If I was about 4 inches taller, 60 pounds heavier, and actually good at sports, and I was a free agent that needed some money, I would take my big old fat ass down to Nashville, eat some hot chicken, go run around on Broadway for a little bit, probably get into some trouble, and call it a day.
There you go. All right. Last but not least, our own Cleveland Browns, who just fired their head coach, Kevin Stefanski, who somehow is the #1 candidate for every single one of these opportunities. You got a GM who's probably on a 1-year contract, and you've got a great candidate in your own backyard, your defensive head coordinator, Jim Schwartz, who's got probably the most prolific defense on the side of the coast, at least, definitely in the division. You've got a defense that could win you a championship if they get you there. If you got an offense that could keep you out of trouble and score some points.
Are you done?
No.
You've
got a defensive roster that's probably got 3 years left in its prime.
Yep.
And you got an offensive roster with maybe 3 or 4 players that are rookies and they're going to be something, and you need to rebuild your entire offensive line and wide receiver core. But you've got a top 5 pick or top 6 pick. You've got multiple first-round picks this year. I think Cleveland's a top 3 job.
So they're middle of the road for me, and really here's why. It's because the lingering money of Deshaun Watson is still going to stay on this roster for the next 5 years.
Well, realistically, 1.5, 2 years.
Okay, well,
I mean, you're talking about $6 million a year. After that, it's like at that point they'll just get rid of him.
Even still, even just the sheer name of the fact that he's on the payroll is still going to be just a daunting fucking task. Yeah, I mean, you said it right. I don't believe that this defense has 3 years left. I think realistically 5.
5 years left?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you think it's got more?
Yeah.
I think it depends on what happens with Denzel Ward, but
I think with the amount of concussions that he has and how old he's getting, I think it's
how old he's like 8 years
for a cornerback. You got to think though. We're talking in football terms right now, and you got to think, dude, he's had like 8 or 9 concussions.
Yeah, at least he's good for 1 a year.
Yeah, so.
Sometimes
I think Myles Garrett is going to be as dominant as he is for the rest of his career. Maybe slow down. Obviously, slow down.
Is he the LeBron James of football?
Yeah, 100%. Without question. I think he's there. I mean,
let's be honest. He talked about how he hasn't had surgery for the last 3 years because he didn't want to sit out. He does it, and then all of a sudden he has his best year ever. I mean, he could be entering into his second prime and have 3 years of just dominant football.
I don't even think it's his second prime. I just think it's his prime period.
Yeah.
I mean, like.
He's going to break the NFL record for most sacks.
He's going to at some point. And I think he's going to be here for a very long time. I think this defensive line is young around him. Mason Graham, Mike Hall, Isaiah McGuire. Who do we pay just out of UAB? What am I thinking of? Alex Wright.
Alex Wright. Yeah.
Alex Wright's still there. Tyson Campbell is still young. MJ Emerson is still young. Ronnie Hickman. Grant Delpit.
Emerson's a free agent this year. Be interested to see what they're going to do with him after he missed all last year with that.
I don't think. Right? I think it's a pretty Achilles or ACL. Something. I think he's. I mean, it's a pretty easy. Hey, just sign this contract. He'll come back. I think nobody knows him. Nobody knows his medical situation better than Cleveland.
Yeah,
but even still, you have Carson Swessinger and JOK, and you got a decent.
What do we think if JOK comes back? Holy shit,
that defense is going to be nasty.
I mean, look what Schwartz got out of freaking JOK before he got injured, and then look at what he got out of Devin Bush this year. I mean, Devin Bush, I think through PPF, was one of the top 10 linebackers this year.
I think let me say this here before we get too far into this. Just talking in a pure coach perspective, I think the only way you keep Jim Schwartz is if you're making him the head coach.
I don't think so.
I don't see him.
I think he has to respect the person that he brings in. He's not going to stay on if it's Mike McDaniel. Definitely
you don't think so? You don't think even in his own little world on the defensive side, you don't think he's going to stay if they bring in Mike McDaniel as the OC?
He's going to have respect for the guy that he's
okay. So you're talking the guy who's going to be the head coach. I'm thinking McDaniels is always going to be a coordinator from moving on forward. To be honest with you,
I think that's where he'd be better at. But I don't think. I mean, you're talking about an ego in the NFL.
I don't know if he really has an ego. I just think he's just doing his own thing,
like vaping on the sideline and wearing skirts.
Sure. But yeah, I think you are right. Like you got to buy into the philosophy of the head coach that's going to be there with you. I 100% agree. Yeah, it's middle of the road. I mean, your offense is, it's the tale of two stories. You have this great defense. It's up and coming. It's cool. It's nasty. It does a lot of great stuff every single game. But then you have the offense come onto the field, and it's, by God, it is the third. It was the third sister. Like, both of them are hot, and the third one's just downright fucking ugly.
Well, the other thing about this is too, one, if you're a head coach and you're coming into this position, you can keep Schwartz at your defensive coordinator and keep your defense together.
Yeah.
You're one step ahead of every other position or every other coaching a position available other
100%.
than Baltimore with a quarterback.
100%.
But by far, if you're comparing us towards all the other job openings, New York Giants, maybe because they have a quarterback, and Baltimore because they have a quarterback, are the two jobs that I think are better. But when I'm looking at it from depending on who's coming in, and this is where we'll talk about the candidates and who's out there.
Yeah.
But if you're a veteran head coach, this is the job. If you're an up and coming coach, this might not be the job because you're tied to a GM that's probably going to be gone next year if he doesn't nail his fucking draft. Yeah. And you're at the position of, okay, we want to win. We want you to win with our current quarterback situation because we really don't have any other options. We don't have a high enough draft pick. We don't want to trade a whole bunch of draft capital. I'm not going to let Andrew Berry trade a whole bunch of draft capital, and we don't have the money because of the contract with Deshaun. So really, your quarterback room is what it's at. Yeah. So you're either going to take this quarterback and turn him into a all-pro quarterback or starting quarterback, and you're going to win with this quarterback, and we're going to build around him, or you're going to tank next season and hope that the next GM that comes in doesn't fire you.
So I think you're wrong. Okay, and here's why. I think just in terms of the what your quarterback room being said is. Mm-hmm. 100% agree with a lot of what you just said. After this year in 2026, Deshaun this is an $80 million hit. This is the biggest hit of this year. So after that, I'm pretty sure a lot of it turns into voids, or it's cuttable to where it can stay into voids and then it gets paid off into the terms of what is needed. But the next head coach, if he's not tied to Shador and he has no ties whatsoever, you stink. You're not tied to Shador and your GM's fired and you're still the head coach.
Wait, repeat that again.
I'm just saying, if Andrew Berry gets fired and you're the new head coach now, you have no ties to Shador. And if he stinks, you're going to replace him.
Okay, right. Agreed. But if you finish 9-8, it's going to be hard to replace him.
Yeah. But at that point, at 9-8, you should be able to see what is going right and wrong at some point. And if it is your quarterback, you have a bit of an easier decision to kind of say, okay, let's maybe see what we can work with here. If Shador is a 9-8 quarterback and really does need to go somewhere else, trade your first and Shador and try to move up at some point.
Sure. I mean, there's a lot of points and a lot of things you can do. I think it puts you in a tough position.
I think we're getting we're so homers to this. We're getting a little too into the weeds on things.
Well, I mean, we're going to talk. I mean, that's what we're here to talk about is the Browns coaching decision. Not just ranking the other teams, but I think when you're looking at this roster, I don't think Barry's going to hire a guy like Harbaugh. I think that's a big ego thing right there.
Yeah, I think Barry's got a fragile ass ego.
Yeah, and I think that's one of those things where jobs like what's the word that I'm looking for? Like you don't want people that are going to undermine you, right? So, because if Jim Harbaugh goes to Jimmy Haslam and be like, we drafted the wrong 3 fucking players. I told you I needed these 3 players. You let this fucking computer fucking nerd draft these
you let
3
this
guys
dork from Philadelphia.
So now I got a left tackle who's fucking 6'5" and 280 pounds, but because he's got long fucking arms. And that's my left tackle.
Okay. Well, me and you are going to get into some draft talk here for a second, and I'm going to get very technical with that fact. But
my point is, though, a guy like Harbaugh is going to know that, right? Like he, if you bring him in, that means no matter what happens this year, he's the coach for the future. Yeah. If you bring in a coordinator, like let's say Aiden Dirty from
I love
Seattle. I like him too. I don't know why. He's a defensive-minded head coach, which I don't think we need. But if you whatever, anyhow.
If you hire the right OC, though, if you hire the right OC, who gives a shit if you're an offensive?
But if you bring that guy in, right, and you fail miserably and you win 3 games this year, you fire your GM, your next GM, is he going to be like, oh, yeah, I'll just take the guy that's left over? Is he going to be like, no, I want my own fucking head coach.
Yeah.
And so that's where I think that's where their Browns are at right now. Yeah. So part of me wonders if they've already made the decision to give it to Schwartz and they're just doing these interviews for next year.
I mean, it's tough to say. I mean, we don't know. I mean, there's a lot. There's still so many questions. Like Andrew Berry, honestly, like you know how everybody says, oh, it's like a 1 in a million chance. Like he has to be that one in that 1 million chance to get everything right from this moment forward.
Yeah.
The head coach, every single draft pick that you have, every decision that you make in trades, every single type of play that's ran on that field, anything that is currently going on in this organization, you are at that 1 in a million chance of it either being proper and working out or failing miserably. And if any of those falter for you, you're done. Your job is gone. See you later.
Yeah.
Which in the grand scheme of things, I'm talking this up as if like you're like the president of the United States or like the king of the world. You're the general manager of the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
You're like everybody else, and like seasons change. Somebody else is going to come in.
Well, we talk about all these, the one thing that's changed over the last couple of years and really last decade, and maybe even a little further, is when I was young, head coaches had this stigma about them. They were a leader of men. They were the grown-ass man in the room, so to talk, where it was like when your dad spoke to you.
Yeah,
right?
it's your elder. It's your elder of some kind.
And then the directors of, if your team was good, was your coordinators, right? Your offensive defensive coordinators.
Yeah.
Look how Ben Johnson affected Detroit,
Aaron and Aaron Glenn.
Right. So, now we've come to this conclusion where, like, hey, if you have a good year as an offensive coordinator, shit, fucking Matt Nagy's being mentioned as a head coach candidate.
That man should
are
never
you
touch a
kidding
fucking
me?
head coach. Yeah, dude.
But because he had a year with Kansas City, now all of a sudden, and they were the worst offense they've been in years. They weren't going to make the playoffs even before Mahomes got injured. But anyhow, that's where we're at, right? We're hiring offensive coordinators, and we're like saying, hey, they ran a good offense, so that means they're going to be a head coach.
That doesn't mean anything.
That means absolutely nothing. You're right.
Which, and we're getting wrapped up into loving some coordinators on here, and it's like, none of that fucking matters.
I think that, like, I like Aiden Dirty because of the way that he speaks and the way he speaks about his players and the way he's like he just seems like the kind of guy who handles his job as a coach, as a leader of men in that, so to say. Same thing with Harbaugh. I think Harbaugh is a leader of men.
Yeah.
I think but fuck, so is Tomlin. Now, the problem is these guys are these guys, especially Tomlin and Harbaugh. I mean, you have Todd Monken, who he had an okay offense in Baltimore, but ultimately didn't light it up. So should he have gotten rid of Monken a year before that? You talk about Tomlin. How many years has that offensive sucked? And they've talked about needing a new offensive coordinator. What they went through, like 4, I felt like, over the course of a couple of years.
I don't remember, to be honest with you.
So I'm nervous about who the Browns are actually going to bring in, because I don't think that. I think here's the only way I think the Browns win the head coaching search. They hire Jim Schwartz. The rest of this is for next year and beyond.
Yeah.
They make the decision to hire Jim Schwartz. He already knows the defense. He already knows all of his defensive assistants. He makes one of them the coordinator. His defense doesn't have to change. All he needs to do is find an offensive coordinator, and that's where a guy like Mike McDaniel maybe takes a shot at it, or you have a guy like the passing game coordinator that they're interviewing.
Tommy Reese?
No, well, you've got Tommy Reese already as your OC, so maybe you just keep it. So maybe the safe sense is, hey, we hire Jim Schwartz. You move somebody up to be defensive coordinator. We keep the roster the same. And hey, look, you guys either make this shit work or we tank and we fucking start it all over next year. And Jimmy Haslam's like, hey, look, not only am I going to start it all over next year, you guys are all fucking out of here. I'll start from fucking scratch. Because that could realistically happen with this Cleveland Browns team.
Honestly, well, right now, my biggest focus is to make sure that we get some fucking offensive linemen to come protect whoever's behind.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's the end.
Coaching be damned when there's nobody there. Isn't
it crazy how 3 years ago we had the best offensive line in football?
It was Conklin, Teller. It was who was it? JC? Was JC Shredder part of that?
No. The best offensive line was you had Bitonio and Teller as the guards.
Yeah. Conklin at right tackle, 100%.
Pochik is first year at center.
Yeah.
Conklin at right tackle, and your left tackle was.
Dude, I think that was Jed.
Yeah.
That had to be Jed.
Yeah. But that was the best offensive line you had in football. So, and you had Callahan as your offensive line coach.
Yeah. Which I think he may come back.
I mean, we'll see.
His kid got fired pretty quick.
Yeah, but we'll see what happens after Stefanski got fired too.
Hey, man, if you produce.
I mean, honestly, the best offense the Browns ran was Alex Van Pelt.
Was that 12? That was that same 12 personnel type. Yeah, because that was when we had Harrison Bryant, who won the Mackey Award, or he won like the best tight end in the country out of like what was it, FAU or FIU?
Yeah.
And then Njoku was there to split carries with
Hollywood Higgins.
Austin Hooper was there for a minute.
These were not great teams. Like they were not the best offensive weapons in the game. And we had Baker
Jarvis,
Mayfield.
Odell, and Njoku, Chubb, Kareem. I mean, that was
okay. Now you're talking, but you were mentioning guys that are fucking.
That's the same team. No, what the fuck are you talking about? Austin Hooper was literally there with that team.
Austin Hooper got kicked out the year of the playoffs. He was done halfway through the year. I think we traded him before that year started.
Was it? I don't think so.
Yeah. Either way, that was the Baker year. That was Alex Van Pelt. That was Callahan. That was everybody. In fact, Van Pelt was the offensive or the head coach for the Steelers game because Stefanski had COVID.
Yeah, that's funny.
So it's like, man, did they bring the whole regime back and say, let's run it back for 1 year? I don't know.
Good times.
But yeah, let's move on. So do you have a favorite that you want for the head coaching position right now?
No, not really. I mean, I'm more or less concerned. I want McDaniel as the OC, Schwartz as the DC or the head coach. So, or whoever the fuck.
I mean, honestly, if you pull that off, I think that'd be a huge win.
I think they just need a super offensive minded head coach. Like the problem with McDaniel was the fact that a super offensive minded
offensive coordinator.
Yeah, that like really does. Yeah, that like can really unlock Shador's potential there. And obviously, when I say that, it's kind of a double, like a stupid saying of like, you really need a really offensive-minded offensive coordinator. Yeah, no shit.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying.
Somebody that's going to be creative with the roster that you have. You got to hope that Quinshawn comes back and he's healthy. And then obviously you got to put some weapons on this team that, they can kind of.
And I think there's good bones here. I don't think Shador is as bad as a lot of people think. I think Quinshawn, Dylan Sampson, Harold Fannin, I think those are some solid pieces right there, but you got to figure out your wide receiver. You want to go into you want to just start talking NFL draft now?
Yeah, we could do that
while we're at it because I'm just going to go. We'll go through 1 through 5, but personally for the Browns right now, if we're looking at 6. Okay, I'm on the board. I'm at 6. Could we throw up just a yeah, let's see. Do you want to run a mock or you want to just look at the prospects that are currently
look at so the Browns are drafting at 6 initially. What's your first? Do you want to see like a roster?
Could I please see like a roster list? I think you can actually go on ESPN and look at that real quick. No. So go.
Oh, you want to actually here?
Go to your back for you. Okay. So yeah. Okay.
This will show you what you need to see.
Okay.
So top 100 players.
Yeah. So ESPN has Jeremiah Love ranked 1-1. I'm ranking a running back 1-1. I'm sorry.
Well, even if you do, he's not going to 1. He's not going in the top 10.
So if I'm looking at this, my biggest thing, can you go back to is there a way you can split it? Can I see the prospects on one side? Can I also see the draft?
Did you not do any research before this?
I know all these guys. Trust me, I did. I just want to be able to see it first. Jeez.
Hang on, we're getting there.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Why is it not doing what I need it to? Oh, maybe because I'm on a fucking TV.
Regardless, just leave it. Just leave it up there. If you can close this just so it creates the list.
There you go. You can see everything.
Okay, so at 1,
let me make sure I'm sharing this. I wasn't even thinking about that.
Make sure you're sharing the screen on Discord.
Share this with the. Let's see. Share screen. Do. All right.
We good?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
All right.
So I'm looking at this here, and for starters, the Raiders, I think, are going Mendoza. If he comes out, the Jets are taking more. 3, I honestly don't know what they're going to do because they have so much money tied. The Cardinals have so much money tied up into Kyler Murray.
I saw them taking quarterback out of Alabama today.
Ty Simpson?
Yeah. There's no way I did.
I mean, you got Jacoby, and Jacoby balled out. Save me in fantasy. Save my fantasy football season. I got 3rd place because of Jacoby. You're looking at Tennessee. They are probably going to go BPA, best player available. Probably some offensive player. I would say even the Giants.
I mean, honestly, I think they're going to go offensive line. That could be where Spencer Fano falls.
Yeah, I mean,
it just depends on how far up the board he climbs. I've seen him as fall as like the top outside the top 10, and I've seen him inside the top 5.
So the Browns at 6, and I'm thinking the Giants are going to take Malachi Lemon, Carnell Tate, or Jordan Tyson. One of those 3.
I think the Giants are going to go Caleb Downs.
No, because they need another wide receiver.
They have 2 receivers. We just talked about.
So why not 3?
Because you have a bigger need at safety, because you have a bigger need on defense, and Caleb Downs is a generational talent that in some drafts would be considered a 1st or 2nd overall pick.
Okay.
Or a guy like Arvell Reese, who is fucking like jumping, or a guy like Reuben Bain. I mean, I think Giants are going. I think Giants and I think Tennessee are going defense.
Regardless, I think if you're looking at the Browns here, they got pick 6. If somehow, some way Arvel Reese falls to 6, or if nobody tries to jump him to take Arvel Reese, I think the Browns are in a good spot to trade down. Or take Spencer Fano, of course, out of Utah. I think he's a great tackle. He's got great length. He's the best offensive tackle on this board, no question.
You think he's better than Francis? What is it, Muyagula from Miami?
It's 1A, 1B for me. They each.
I want to see how he does this week against this Indiana. This will probably project him over Fano if he does well.
If CC Maui Goa does very well and he doesn't let Indiana, pretty much stomp the shit out of Carson Beck.
He's going ahead of Fano.
Yeah, I think so. But I got to see them. I got to see them really do their thing at the NFL Combine too, because in game play versus just the eye test, the Wonderlicks, all that. I really just want to see him. Currently, right now though, it's 1A, 1B. It's the same thing of when it was Jedrick Wills and what was his name? I'm thinking offensive lineman, tackle, went to Tampa Bay.
Wirfs.
Tristan Wirfs. So it's 1A, 1B during that draft class. It's the same thing here. I think either of them could go 1A, 1B for me.
I think and I hate Ohio State, but I think I'm going wide receiver if Carnell Tate's there at 6. I know we need offensive linemen. I don't see.
You need a wide receiver though.
I don't see Spencer Fano as being. Man, it is hard to spend a top 10 overall pick on an offensive tackle unless they are fucking lights out.
But you know what's harder is watching Shador get sacked 50 times.
I agree. But if you notice the last 3 or 4 games of the season, that did not happen as much. I don't know if it was because of scheme. I don't know what the purpose was, but that offensive line with terrible practice squad players was different. I'm not saying that it's by any stretch acceptable that we don't rebuild that offensive line. For me, this is where Barry's going to have to be right.
Yep.
Who's going to have the bigger impact on your team? Is it going to be the left tackle if it's Spencer Fano or this dude from Miami, or is it going to be the wide receiver, Carnell Tate, or even Jordan Tyson? I've seen, and I'm not a big fan of Jordan Tyson only because he missed, I think, this whole year basically. Or at least half of it.
So I'm content with any of those. I don't see a problem with it. I think even if you wanted to scroll down even into the late 20s on things, you have Caden Proctor who could fall there.
I saw Caden Proctor in the top 10 today, actually.
And it doesn't shock me. He's a great offensive tackle. He may actually move to kick into guard just because of his arm length. And
you're definitely not taking a guard top 10.
I mean, again, though, dude, you gotta think, man. You're still at a need for things. This edge, So
this is going by top 100 prospects. I mean, you're going to have a lot of
Oli Vega Leon. Yeah, I think I'm saying his name right. The best offensive guard in the class.
Yeah,
huge kid, awesome. I like him, and I like Drew Shelton too. He was the offensive tackle over there. He can play guard and tackle. I really like him a lot.
So the reason I'm going to pull up this because obviously where you're talking about mock drafts, that's going by best overall player. So they've got Mendoza's like the.
Well, close out that right side area. No, not that one. I'm saying close out this ad right here. No free ads on this podcast. By the way. No free ads.
Actually, we should be monetized as far as tomorrow. So thanks for those listening, like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. All right, so they've got Dante Moore coming out and going second. We'll look that up in just a minute. They've got Arvel Reese going number 3 to Arizona.
They need so much, so it could be.
They could really check. That's BPA for sure. I don't know much about Arvel Reese because I watched so little Ohio State.
Bro, he sat on the bench during the national championship game.
Wow,
that team was so stacked. They had the number 3 overall player sit on the bench last year. Isn't that fucking crazy?
Why? Just because he was not good enough to be on the starting?
No, because it was you respect your seniors. All those kids came back for 4th and 5th years, dude. They wanted to win a championship, and they did.
Wow.
Isn't that fucking nuts, though?
That is nuts. Here's a guy I'm a big fan of.
Dude's a dog.
He's not as fast off the ball. I was watching some things today and doing some comparisons. The difference between him and Myles Garrett is like the off the ball speed, but he's still a freak athlete and he's got ridiculous hands.
Would you call him like an old school Von Miller?
No, I think I'd call him more. Honestly, he's more of like a TJ Watt kind of guy. They're big, they're fast, they're athletic, but it's the skill set, the hand. You know what? A Nick Bosa coming out of college.
Okay.
Is where I would compare. They're just not that. I mean, they're athletic. He's an athletic freak, and he's super fast. He just does not have that off the ball set, and that could be something that changes in that aspect. They've got Carnell Tate going 5 to Washington.
And that makes sense. Again, this is BPA for them. They need defensive tackle, linebacker, offensive line, and wide receiver. It's really a crapshoot, to be honest with you. And
and then they mentioned Neighbors as well, which, obviously he's being double teamed, and that'll stop.
And again, here we get into just exactly what I said. It's Spencer Fano for me. He's the best offensive tackle in this class. There's not really any questions about it. He's got the size, he's got the strength, he's got the speed, he's got the build. 6'6", 305. It's exactly what you want in your left tackle.
The thing is, he's at Utah.
Yeah.
There's
not a ton of well-known.
They have 2 of the top 10 tackles in the draft this year. So it'll be interesting to see. They've got Jordan Tyson going 7. Jeremiah Love at 8 to New Orleans.
That's not fucking
happening. That's just putting that out there.
That's
put it
so
out there.
Stupid.
Here you got the offensive tackle for Miami going to Kansas City,
and I think that would be a great fit for him.
David Belly from Texas Tech. Caleb Downs, they've got dropping out of the top 10 to Miami, which Miami.
I think this
they need everything: cornerback, safety, wide receiver, tight end.
Whoever wrote this fucking mock draft, you're fucking stupid, dude.
Why? Caleb Downs dropping out of the top 10.
Why in the world is the New Orleans Saints taking a running back with their first? It's fucking stupid.
Yeah,
Mansour Delane's a dog.
This one's surprised. God, if the Baltimore Ravens end up with Peter Woods, I'll fucking hate my life for the next 5 years because I think he's going to be better.
He's good.
I think he's going to be better than our guy from Michigan who we drafted,
Mason Graham.
Yeah, I think he's going to be better than Mason Graham. We'll see.
It's possible. He's got the potential to do it.
But that just goes to show the difference in this draft versus last year's draft because he's not even in the top 10 here. Where at one point he was a top 5. Kenyon Sadiq,
I don't think you're taking a tight end at the Jets. I don't think you're taking a tight end right there in Minnesota. Same thing.
TJ Parker, another Clemson defensive lineman.
He's a dog too. He's falling down the board though.
Yeah, they've got Malachi Lemon going to the Panthers. Speaking of the Panthers, real quick, can we just touch on the fact that they almost beat the Rams and knocked off Matt Stafford last week?
Dave Canales knows how to coach a team, big dog.
That is impressive. That is the one thing when you look at a head coach, you look at him, you look at what Ben Johnson did for the Bears, you're like, could our team be turned around in a year just like that? Like, man.
There was a point in time where I saw Bryce Young.
I thought he was gonna get cut.
I thought he was too, and all of a sudden he just the next week
that was when he got benched. Remember, he got benched for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then he came back and he was like a different quarterback. Yeah. And he's gone. He
must have went on that darkness journey with Rodgers. some little ayahuasca trips.
All right, Dallas quarterback Terrell. Here's where you start getting because the Browns now officially have the 24th overall pick. So let's see where they've got him going. There's the other offensive tackle. So this is interesting. Caleb Lomu. And then they've got the Browns taking Denzel Boston out of Washington with a 6'4" wide receiver. Washington receivers scare me, dude. The last 3 have come out of there. Oduke. Wait, what's the wide receiver for Chicago? Rome
Dunze.
Yeah, I was a stud at Washington, but I don't think he's done that.
Shout out Jalen McMillan from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's a dog too.
I mean,
the team was nasty.
First round receiver, dude. I need a guy like wide receiver out of OSU last year.
Well, I mean, David Boston. I don't think he's going to be a first rounder. He may just because of the position value, but he's a good player. I think this wide receiver class is pretty weak, actually, to be honest with you.
I don't love it.
I don't love it either. You have your Tyson, who has injury concerns. You have your Malachi Lemon, who, again, has some question marks. Same with Carnell Tate. There's no, pinnacle number 1 wide receiver, if I had to be honest with you.
No, and you got a guy. So I'll give you a great example. You talked about Malachi Lemon, which I love. I'm a USC guy, but you know who I actually liked? Zachariah Branch.
Out of Georgia.
He was a USC last year.
Yeah. Transferred
to Georgia this year. Had a subpar year, less than 900 yards receiving, a handful of touchdowns. But Malachi Lemon stepped up and had a big year for USC, which I'll be interested to see what Maava does next year as a quarterback at USC. But
I think if we're just going to wrap this into the Browns thing for here really quickly, I think your first 3 picks are your offensive line. If not a quarterback, another offensive line, and a wide receiver.
Yeah, I would agree. And it just depends on what order. So if you had to guess today, who would be your top 2 picks? And then don't forget, you got number 5 in the second round, you could get back up into that first round.
Yeah, I mean, you can. I mean, you can. You definitely can with some of the depth of your 5th rounders that you have for sure, because you have like 143, 6, and 7.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't necessarily know if I love anybody. I would again say, just for the sake of protecting Shador or anybody else who's going to come into here, I'm saying offensive tackle personally.
Yeah. So you've got both your first, and you got your second, third, fourth, and you've got 3 5th rounders and a 6th rounder
and a 7.
So realistically, this second rounder could be another late. I mean, if you're the Browns and you're smart,
it's in reality another first rounder.
I mean, reality. So, I mean, there could be a situation where you end up with, you could end up with Fanu, you could end up with Proctor as their second pick, or even the other offensive tackle from Utah in your second round pick, and you don't draft a receiver until second round, though. But I think that's a mistake.
I mean, listen, with the 10 picks that you have right here, you're going to have to make a decision on somebody. And, I hope the Browns aren't scared of just letting the board naturally fall to them, because some people are going to reach for talent. There's always going to be a couple teams.
So one of the things I'll say about Barry is his way of maneuvering around the draft board is actually pretty exceptional when you think about it. You think back to him when he let JOK fall to him and he moved up just enough to get him. You think about Grant Delpit coming to him and he moved up just enough to get him.
Yeah, but each of those players that you just named right there had some medical concerns that the Browns ignored and just got lucky on.
But it's not, did you get lucky, or did you pick the player and you obviously you're doing enough research that you know where they're going to fall?
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, like even last year moving up for Shador, they moved up ahead against Baltimore, who was actually going to draft Shador, right? We find out later. Now, obviously, Shador didn't want to go there. That might have been part of it. But they moved up to get him. They moved up to get, what else did they move up for last year? Did they move up to get Schlesinger, or no? He fell to him.
No, he fell. Same with Quinshon.
Overall pick, yeah, Quinshon fell to him.
But I know what you're saying here, and there's exceptions.
He's never had to move up to get what turned out to be the right pick in most drafts. Or if he did, he made the move and it worked out.
Or just a lot of his picks sucked ass to begin with.
We went through his draft picks. His draft picks actually aren't that bad. He probably hits on 55% of his draft picks, and with quality starting draft picks. I mean, if you look at this last year, I mean, everybody's going to talk about this last year,
because it was insane. Every single player that is drafted is going to play.
Can I just say, when I look at this, like, one of the heartbreaking things is looking at like former prospects that used to play for your college football team and then use the transfer portal to leave, like Bear Alexander fucking going to Oregon, or Zachariah Brandt's going to Georgia. And it's like, man, when you see that, it's just like, fuck you guys, we could have been fucking champions. All right, well, let's end it on this. So if you had to pick first 3 picks, ideal situation, who would you be?
What do you mean?
Who are you taking with your first 3 picks if you had to narrow it down to 3 specific guys?
Like I have the pick for the Raiders.
No, just your Cleveland Browns.
Oh, the Cleveland Browns.
Assuming they're there, assuming everything goes right, who's your first overall? Who's your first pick at 6?
I'm taking Spencer Fano at 6. I am then taking Caleb Loma at your 24th spot.
Wow.
And in your second round, I'm taking a wide receiver. I don't know who. I think if I had to guess, it'd probably be Chris Bell out of Louisville.
Okay. At number 6 overall, I'm taking Tate from Ohio State.
Okay.
Finding my receiver. He's my number 1 receiver. I'm going to sit on 24, and I'm going to see what falls to me. I'm either looking at a Proctor or the other tackle from Utah, or a guy like Malachi Lemon. Whoever's still there, that's my guy. If I feel like if 2 of those 3 are gone, I have to move up a couple spots, I'm doing it.
Okay.
Second round, it just depends on what the bottom of the first looks like.
Yeah.
But if the bottom of the first has,
there's always going to be that one player that me and you are going to sit here and look at and be like, how the fuck did he not get drafted in the first round?
Yeah, of course, there is every year, right? This is where it's going to depend on if a Denzel Boston falls to you in the second round, do you take a shot at it?
Yes.
Versus another offensive lineman. Now you only have 2 receivers versus 1 offensive lineman. Or if let's say you're sitting at 24 and that the best overall guard of the draft falls to you at 24, and you select him up. Do you trade back up right away to get your tackle at that point? Do you really solidify that offensive line? And here's the thing: we don't spend years and years researching these players. We see them on a couple of games a year.
Yeah.
We hear what everybody else is talking
and then
about.
we watch their highlights on YouTube when you just type in 2026 highlights and you watch the 8-minute clip with some cool music in the background.
Right. And so you really don't know what's gonna ultimately
no, you
take
don't.
place.
You ultimately don't.
And I might fall out of love with Carnell Tate. You know, I haven't even watched any of his recent, but he didn't really show up in the championship game for me. Or not the championship game, but the first playoff game for the Buckeyes. That was their chance to kind of really, I think, make a.
You're talking against Indiana or against Miami?
No, against Miami.
Why don't you do yourself a favor and pull up the box score really quickly?
It's not about the stats, right? It's about the points. Like,
okay, and
who made a difference in that game?
And Ohio State lost that game. Miami didn't win that game.
You can't say that.
Yes, I absolutely can.
Miami forced that game into a freaking
brother. If Ohio State didn't make the stupid ass mistakes that they did, they would have beaten the shit out of Miami.
Oh, come on,
brother,
how are you gonna say
brother,
that?
We're gonna end it.
They couldn't even beat the shit out of Indiana.
Indiana's the best fucking team in the country.
What
Miami's
makes them
not.
better than the
They're a
best
10 seed.
offense in the fucking country?
10 seed.
What makes them better than the best offense in the country?
Who's the best offense in the country?
Ohio State.
Okay. What makes them different? Okay, for starters, Carson Beck doesn't throw a sideways pass for a fucking pick six.
Right.
There's 6 points right off the board right there. I didn't even have the chance to watch the first quarter of that game. I was so pissed. I was driving down to Columbus.
Oh, man. Oh, and that snowstorm.
Yeah, like a fucking idiot.
Jeremiah Smith, 7 catches, 157 yards, and a touchdown. He's going to be a top 3 pick next year.
No shit. He's going to be number 1. Go up. Ohio State side of things.
Carnell Tate, 3 catches, 37 yards. Did not show up. In the box score, even. I didn't even realize it was that bad. I thought he had like 75 yards receiving.
Yeah, but Julian Sain spread that ball out pretty good. Wow. Keep scrolling right there. Obviously, you target Jeremiah Smith, but you look at everybody else that caught passes. Julian Smith had one of the worst games ever with 2 interceptions.
7 catches for 150 yards. Carnell Tate had 3 catches for 37 yards.
Dude, Jeremiah
is he? You know what? I might have just switched to Spencer Fanning. I'm afraid to take a wide receiver that fucking has that kind of production.
Okay,
that's scary. I thought it was a little bit better than that.
Okay.
Julian Sand, I'll be interested to see what he does next year.
I think he's going to be a dog. I think he's going to take that big step.
We will only find out through another year of football.
I guess me and you are going to have to come back and talk about it then.
Yeah, we will. We're going to talk about sports for more often.
Yeah.
Let's finish this up on one good night. Are you excited? Are you going to watch Patty the Batty fight here in a couple of weeks?
Oh, yeah. Big time. I think he's a legit fighter. I think people are sleeping on him. People laugh at him for his kind of weird eating habits and crazy hair. But in reality, he's actually a very deadly fighter. He's got some good limbs to him. He knows how to strike very well, stay on his feet. Yeah, I think he's going to be really, really good. Who's he fighting again? I can't remember.
He beat Mike. What's his name? Hold on a second. Why does it show? This is Michael. Why is it still showing Michael Chandler?
That's an old fight, dude.
I know it keeps getting. This is the same thing. Let's see. Wait, isn't this week 3? Upcoming fight.
What? I mean, that was posted by the UFC. That's 324. Just type it in.
That's this week, isn't it?
No.
Fucking Franklin University, you bastards, and your ads.
This is an old fight. This is from 324, dude. Pause it and then look up Patty Finland's fight. It's pretty bad on you to maybe not have this memorized already. Well,
whatever.
He faces Gaethje.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know what the thing? Okay, so this changes a lot for me personally. Then
why? Because
Gaethje, he's never been that super dominant guy, but he's always been that figure in the UFC that's just an animal all the way around. He gave hell to Holloway in their fight, and he got his ass fucking wrecked in 300 for sure. And honestly, I think Gaethje's going to give him a hell of a. He's going to give him his longest fight. Gaethje's going to take him all the way to 5 rounds.
Ooh, I don't know about that. Let's see.
Why don't you here do yourself a favor here? What are you fight music?
Yeah, go ahead. What did you want me to look up?
I was just going to have you go on Google here and look up. Just type in No, and Google on your other tab. I was going to say just Justin Gaethje's record and watch and just.
I was like 25-6.
No, I know that, but you'll actually see how many rounds he's actually taken at all of his fighters.
I just spelled that all fucked up and wrong.
So he's 26. So go to UFC stats right here, 26-5. Okay. Rounds 3, 5, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2, 5. I mean, dude, he's
1, 4, 3. Now, are these the most recent?
Dude, you got to think though. That's 2017, 17, 18.
That's
18.
what I was saying. I was trying to figure out.
And he's how old is he now? What is he? Fuck, he's
why is
old,
this
dude.
not let me fucking go?
He's born in 88. What does that almost make him think?
All right, so his most recent one was 3 rounds, then 5 rounds, 2, 3, 1. I mean, really, he went like 2 years without fighting.
Probably was injured.
Well, we're gonna find out what happens because it's been a year since his last fight, but Patty hasn't fought in a while either.
Has he not?
Chandler was the last fight. I guess April.
Yeah, 2025. Yeah, so almost a year. I just don't think. Honestly, dude, I kind of want to go Gaethje
on a
here.
Winning streak too.
Yeah, but Gaethje, or I'm sorry, but Pimlet has not fought anybody. He fought a beat up Tony Ferguson.
Dude, I don't watch enough UFC to understand.
You really need to watch UFC.
I'm gonna definitely watch this Pimblett fight because he's just fucking awesome.
I'm going Gaethje. I think Patty will knock him out, but I'm still going Gaethje because he's a dog.
Well, comment below who you think is going to win this fight upcoming week, and hopefully we can go live again here in 2 weeks, and we'll follow up on that because that's the 24th they fight.
Yeah, I believe it's the 13th.
Yeah, so they fight in 2 weeks, so we'll come back and we'll finish that up, and then we'll see how this head coaching goes up for the Cleveland Browns and the rest of the league. Who do you think is the first team that's going to land a head coach?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think the Ravens.
Okay.
Again, I just think a good organization that has a lot of answers and doesn't need to spend too much time. I think they know what they want already. I think they know what to avoid. So.
And who do you think is going to be the first head coach hired?
Ooh.
I mean, well, regardless of what team it goes to, who do you think is going to be the first candidate?
Oddly enough, if he really wants to, I almost think Mike Tomlin.
I don't know if he's going to coach again this year, but
he may take a year off realistically and go wait till the next carousel comes around. If that's the sense, I say Harbaugh.
You think Harbaugh will go first? He's probably the domino that sets off the rest anyhow.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah. Wild card here, Brian Dable.
Oh Jesus,
I like him.
I don't love him.
I like him a lot.
All right. So, and then who do you think the Browns are going to hire ultimately? If you had to guess.
You want head coach, OCDC?
Just head coach.
Okay. I mean, I would love Harbaugh. I don't know. I don't have an answer. I truly don't have an answer for you because I think it can go in multitude of different directions, and I don't know what Barry's thought process is really.
Makes sense. I think Atlanta's going to be the first head coach job that gets taken. I think it's going to be Stefanski. I think that Stefanski's going to be the first head coach taken in that order, and I think the Browns are going to hire Jim Schwartz. Those are my 3 guesses.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens.
I'll see you in 2 weeks then.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Night, guys.